Okay, we're back for the third installment of the Two Brothers podcast. And I just adjusted some things. I'm here with my brother. My only brother. Say hi, bro.
Hi.
So, we, in my previous video that you probably saw recently, we talk about a friend that we made, a little snake. Well, we got home this evening, and somehow the little fucker got out of his little tank that we had him in. So...
Naughty.
we don't know where he's at.
Can't figure it out.
We have been thinking about it for like the past half hour now. There's no way he could have got out. There's just no way. There's no physical way, unless snakes are real, like they could get through real tiny. Like, go get the tank. Where's the tank? Go get it, so we could show them. Sorry, people.
Oh, man.
It didn't taste very good.
I still have some of that like vape juice from that pen thing, but I'm. There's got to be a better way to do that. There's got to be a way that's like this, you know?
Oh, dude, fucking there is.
They have syringes, and you can just put it in your vape tank.
Pretty much, yeah. Like they have. I saw it at the Wellness Center of the Rockies. Anyway, look, this is the tank he was in. If he could have fit through that, maybe. But like you know, he was really tiny. Like I don't understand how he could have, like, unless the lid was half open or something. We can't figure it out. But what's up?
Yeah, if it was like that,
Like if it didn't get closed all the way.
it's possible he could have. But I mean, I don't know. Like, okay,
That's good for you.
try to lift that and tell me you don't think he would have got caught in that.
He could have got out of that.
You think so?
I think he could have got out of that because they're a little, squeezy.
Yeah.
They could squeeze.
Thing is like it was closed. Like it wasn't sticking up like that. I would have noticed that.
When
you know
you
what I mean?
when you came home, it was like closed.
Yeah.
Just remember to adjust the mic when you.
Like that is noticeably open. You know what I mean? Like I would have noticed that and been like there.
Yeah.
It's
And
just,
I mean, if I would have looked up, man, that's the thing. I don't know. I could have swore. I've had the lights out all day because, it's sunny
I got
outside.
home from work. I checked on him. He was fine. I took my shower. I didn't check on him after my shower. We pretty much took off right away. So
he was in there when you got off work.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
so he's
So
if
somehow in between when you got home and then when we got back from going out, he got out.
Yeah, so if he's escaped, he's only been missing about 2 hours. Which means there's a good chance he could still be down here. But there's also a good chance that he could have got upstairs, I guess, because that is 2 hours of time. Like, he's not like a turtle or a slug.
Right.
He can be fast.
He is a little fast little shit. If you saw my video, he's like snack. But yeah, no, dude, I was at the Wellness Center and I thought it was a smock product, but I think it's called Aerolab or something like that. But it's a vape pen with like a cartridge kind of like this, but not exactly like this. And you put your own like tobacco juice or not, what am I talking?
Tobacco juice.
Marijuana juice, your own.
Put your own nut juice in there.
Your own weed juice in there.
So I kind of wish that. Let's see here. I don't know. On TV and movies and stuff, everybody's hair is on that side. I guess some people's is on the other side, though.
I think it's when they film it, it's probably like this. Like how, I don't know, my hair's different from yours. So
Yeah, like it's like I feel like I've been parting my hair the wrong way or pushing it to the wrong side.
I've just always parted it like this. So that's just me, though. What are you doing?
Just looking at my hair.
So yeah, but so Snack is gone. He's run away. Unless we find him tonight, he could be anywhere.
Yeah, like
what if he's under your mattress? I stepped on your mattress just a minute ago, but I was just thinking he couldn't have gone far. There's just, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, he could just be anywhere. And I have like cables everywhere. I'm afraid I'm gonna mistake a snake for a cable and grab him and go and bite me. He's just a little garter snake, but
these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Snakes on a plane, bitch. But yeah, it was at the. That's the other thing. Fucking, they actually have proper batteries made by Kraft for that cartridge. They didn't get them in until after I bought that battery for you. And they're apparently a lot better, and they're the same price. And we've had them before. They have like a little button on the end. You could like use it as a stylus for your phone. Yeah,
That's cool.
it's really cool. Pretty bummed out.
Oh, I'm just kind of high. I mean, yeah, I'm still bummed out. It's just, it's so cool because like I found a snake and didn't have to buy it.
Yeah, and he was so tiny.
Yeah, man. And like
We never really did settle on an actual name. I just called him Gooby.
Yeah.
Because he's small.
But it was cool because he was like a wild snake. He wasn't some generic snake you find in every pet store.
Right.
He's
a Colorado.
He was a western terrestrial garter snake, also known as wandering garter snake.
He's a wanderer.
But garter snakes are pretty docile and tame-ish. Tame is a word used for domesticated animals that also behave in a friendly manner towards humans. But they are relatively like calm and docile. Like he didn't even try to bite me when I found him and like got close to him. He just was like, oh, there's a big thing, you know.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Why is this like this? I'm changing a setting here. We can record again. Sorry about that. That was stupid. I did it dumb.
I did a dumb.
Yeah, I did a real big dumb.
So go kill me about it.
I'm going to kill you about it. I'm gonna kill myself about it.
Dirty people. I don't know what you're gonna do. Sell potatoes or something.
Dad, you opened up a store in an Irish neighborhood. These are dirty, dirty people. Don't you know that? Sell potatoes. I don't know what you're gonna do.
I guess. I see a little.
And then Matt Damon goes crazy.
Our mics are backwards.
If anyone knows that reference.
What was the reference?
It's from The Departed. There's this like Italian mobster guy, and he's like in this convenience store hassling the Indian owner about money for safety, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have it. And he's like, look, man, I'm gonna go back to my boss. You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna tell me to come back here and bash your fucking teeth in. And I don't want to do that. You know, I like you. You're a nice guy. But the thing is, you know, everybody's gotta pay. And the guy's like, "What? I don't have it. I don't know what you want me to do." You know, like he's like, "I don't know what you want me to do." He's like, "You need to." He's like, "You live in an Irish neighborhood here. These are dirty, dirty people. I don't know what you're gonna do. Sell potatoes or something." And like at this point, Matt Damon's character has come in the store, and he's like, put something on the counter, and these dudes are sitting there, you know, hassling this motherfucker.
Right.
They finish this sentence, and he's sitting there at the counter with a smile on his face, and he's put the item down, and they turn and look at him, you know, and he asks them like where they're from or something. He's like, "You guys from Providence or something?" And they're like, "Fuck off," basically. And then he just starts kicking their ass. He just starts kicking their ass.
Starts killing.
Beats the fuck out of them. Like, knocks them out. They're all bloody and shit on the ground. And the Indian guy's pissed off. He's like, "Get out of here! Get out of my store!" He's like all mad because like they broke a bunch of shit in the process, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And
it's like those guys were supposed to protect that Indian guy. Or whatever.
No, they were hassling him for money. It was all just... It's just... protection from who? You know, they're like, "Look, any mobster could come in here and kill you. We might even do it. But if you pay us money, not only will we not kill you, but we'll also stop we'll stop other gangs from killing you and running their turf here, basically." It was good for both ends because basically, yeah, you could run your turf. Shit. You could run your turf
and suck some dick.
No, you could run your turf, and then they got protection too, right?
Right.
And lots of shit used to run that way. Like, remember Dad was talking about like Nanny and Papaw. You know, like Papaw, he wasn't really our grandpa, but Nanny was married to him.
Yeah.
And he was like kind of criminally connected, you know.
Yeah.
He always seemed like that type too, because if you remember anything about going over there as a kid. He was always wearing a bunch of jewelry, you know, like a bunch of rings on his fingers.
Yeah, those big fat fucking rings.
Yeah, big fucking rings. Like he was some kind of fucking pawn shop owner or some shit. Or something.
Yeah.
Some skeezy, like, 70s porn star. And
for all we know, he probably was.
Yeah. And he also had, like, chains and stuff, you know. He's always smoking big old stogies, big old cigars.
Well, fucking Nanny told me that he was, like, one of the characters that is in Goodfellas, like, who's based on the real person.
Yeah.
Papaw was friends with that dude's, like, one of those dude's sons.
Yeah.
So he was like really kind of in that shit.
But yeah, they were around when like that shit was like starting to die out. You know, like.
Well, I feel like it's still a thing.
It is, but it's different.
It's just not as prevalent.
Well, it's different now. It's corporate thugs now, man.
Well, it's like corporate.
It's guys in business suits that. Okay. There's a series of episodes actually in the show The Mentalist, and there's this guy called Volker, and he's like this.
Is he Volker?
No, he's a billionaire CEO, right?
Yeah.
He owns this multi-million dollar company that manufactures like
dildos.
No, they manufacture like airplanes and like aeronautics equipment and shit. You know.
'Cause I've heard of like there's mobs that own like sex toy factories.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, any business,
any market
it doesn't matter. You can make money out of it, cool, but it can also be used as a front for other things. So it doesn't matter really what it is. If you find a hole in a market somewhere, like you go to a town, they don't have a certain type of shop or whatever, set up shop there, use it as a front, make money, do whatever, you know, and run your criminal syndicate out of that shit. But like, in goddamn, I keep wanting to say Fight Club. In Boondock Saints, you know, there's a scene. There's a scene where they bring the funny guy Rocco to talk to the mob boss, and he's on the phone when they bring him in.
Yeah.
So he has to wait, you know. But he's the funny guy, and the reason they bring him there is to tell jokes, obviously, right?
Right.
So like, when he's on the phone, though, if you remember, He's yelling at this motherfucker in Italian, so you can't even, and they don't subtitle it.
You're insignificant.
Yeah.
Asshole.
You bastardo. She slams the phone down. He's like, you're not supposed to threaten a guy no more. You know, he's like, you're not supposed to threaten to kill a guy no more. Now I have to tiptoe through the tulips with these that's when he says bastardo. He's like, now I have to tiptoe through the tulips with these bastardos. And he's like, and he
insignificant asshole.
He starts eating the sandwich and gets Rocco to tell him the joke at that point. But like, basically, this is the 80s or 90s when technology is on the rise. Police agencies, equipment are on the rise. You know, and criminal organizations are having a harder time keeping afloat because it's harder for dirtier cops that are still in the force to be able to even cover up for them because of that same reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Better technology, better equipped police forces.
Better pizza, Papa John.
So there is that one plus side about police, I guess, that a lot of people probably don't even really consider or think about. But without the police, there would be that. And see, and then there's that. Here it comes in again back to what I was talking about on the mentalist. That there's CEOs that are rich and can hide. You know, they can pay people to kill someone for them. They can pay people to look the other way. They can pay people to just keep their mouth shut, you know?
Yeah, they're called blinders.
Yeah.
They're called blinders.
And you know, this is why people get
seen it on the internet.
Yeah.
In that one show, Wise Kids You Know.
This is why people
I see the abused kid, or I see the abused wife, and now I still see the abused child, mentally abused child, with the feces, his own feces in his hand. I need a blinder, so I don't see that. And he's like, he's another $100. And he's like, all right, I don't see nothing. I'm gone. Peace.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's like social protective services or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't see no problems here.
Yeah.
Now
You gotta bribe me, y'all.
I'm gonna need some blinders. They usually cost about $100.
But there's a lot of evidence out there also to suggest that organized crime has moved into police forces.
Of course,
because
shit, man, you got to think about it.
The FBI thinks that there's actually a significant amount of white nationalist, white supremacist, neo-Nazi, KKK like types that have infiltrated
Into the police force.
Yeah. And it makes
in the UK they don't call it the police force. They call it the police service.
Oh yes, it's a service.
They say force is too aggressive.
Yeah, exactly, and
I
really,
mean,
it's
I think
supposed to
it's
be
true.
a service because on the side of lots of police cars it says to protect and serve, and it's like
To protect and
If
fuck
you're-
up black people.
if it's the end of the month, yeah, right. And if it's the end of the month,
Yeah, dude, fucking yesterday. Okay, this is being recorded on August 1st, so keep that in mind. It's probably going to come out tomorrow, which is August 2nd, which would be Thursday. Sorry. Anyway, yesterday was the end of the month of July, and I did not want to go anywhere because I don't have proper tags on my car because I just got my car. I got temp tags still, and temp tags expire this month, so I don't want to be pulled over for any reason. There's cops everywhere out yesterday, and I was like, I ain't going anywhere. Fucking cops. They gotta make their quota. I know a lot of people think it's a myth, but it's not. They do have to. They don't have to make so many arrests, but they have to pull over so many people, so that the state knows they're doing their job, essentially. Right?
yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Well, anyway, yeah, basically.
Yeah, you were saying white supremacists.
That same point that you're kind of making. The thing I was trying to get at
it's
too
all
is
like a
that
bureaucracy. It's all a business, you know. It's all a company.
if you
Anything can be bought and sold with the right amount of oil. Sorry.
if I can't finish this sentence, we're not going to finish this podcast.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If you're getting pulled over at the end of a month and the police officer is pulling you over because one of your stupid lights is out and you didn't realize it because you're inside of the vehicle,
Yeah, it doesn't alert you.
and the police could probably argue that you should probably inspect your vehicle every time you gotta use it. Who the fuck does that? How realistic is that?
Yeah, like are you gonna come out to your car and you're like, you put the keys in, and then you're like, flip one blinker.
Check the blinker.
You hop in the car, you flip the blinker,
Get out
then
and
you
look
get out
at
of the
it,
car
yeah.
and look at both the front and back.
But anyway,
Or actually,
so
the quickest way to do that would be put on your emergency.
and
brake.
really all that shit is a pretense for their efforts in the drug war. That's all that is.
Mm-hmm.
An excuse to invite themselves over to your vehicle and have a party.
When it's like I see that almost any occurrence where a person gets pulled over
For some bullshit reason, like you didn't
they get
turn your
pulled over
blinker
and
on.
getting arrested because they have drugs in the car, or like weed in the car, or something stupid like that. Like, the cop pulls them over for something really basic, like, oh well, your license plate light was out.
Yeah.
Your taillight was
They
out.
have to have an excuse.
You didn't stop at that stop sign very well.
Yeah.
Like, they're scratching the bottom of the barrel if they're like, well, you didn't stop at that stop sign.
Well, Shannon got out of. They were trying to get her for running a red light in Williamstown at that light where, like, you know,
all been drink. I was in the car.
yeah, and they were like,
she was like,
we were over the line, officer, and he was just like,
Yeah, dude. Here's the thing. If you stand your ground, you know, and you say, hey, man, this is what I did. I know I did this. They're less likely to give you a ticket.
yeah, right.
If
Because
you're like,
the thing is if
I'm
they
sorry,
press
I
the
didn't
issue
know.
and you're like, okay, well, fine, let's go to court and talk it out then, and then they're found wrong,
because if
then
you,
they look like an idiot.
Yeah, because if you sit there and you're like, well, I don't know, maybe I was speeding, or I don't know, maybe I did run a red light. That's
Yes,
almost-
agree
that's
with
like-
me. Yeah, you're like, yeah,
like an
I will
admission
take a
of guilt.
ticket. Yeah, I
Yeah.
will take a ticket. Thank you, officer.
Yeah. So
Thank you
it's
for
like-
your service.
But if you're like, no, I know I didn't do this. I know I'm not
Fucking
wrong.
service. Yeah.
And then the cop might be like, well, I got dash cam footage, suck my dick.
So if you have dash cam footage, then it'll probably clearly show that I was over the line.
But see, fucking, that was what, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago
Yeah.
that happened? So they didn't really have dash cams here in America.
Here's the thing, man.
Well, they did, but they weren't accessible to the majority.
Yeah, but I got a ticket in Parkersburg once for that same kind of shit. Like, it was a yellow light. I was like, oh shit, and I got through it. But it's funny because I just saw a cop and he was going the opposite direction. I was like, oh, I'm good then. Anyway, you know, like, he's going that way. He didn't see me. He's not gonna try to push the issue. But then another cop came out of fucking nowhere, and apparently they were like chilling and talking together in a parking lot and had just parted ways. And then the one saw me and he was going my direction, so he got me. But he pulls me over and he's like, do you know why I'm pulling you over? And I'm like, because I was going through that yellow light back there. Maybe I was kind of cutting it close. I don't know. He's like, you mean red light? And I was like,
No.
it was yellow when I went through. He's like, well, see, here's the thing. If your back tires aren't over the line before it turns red, then you're running that red light, and your back tires were not over. And I don't know if there was dash cam footage or not, you know, but like,
Right.
he gave me a ticket. It was $100. I was like, fuck, you know.
Yeah, but that goes on your driving record because it's a traffic
Who
violation.
cares, man? That was over a decade ago.
It's stupid, but yeah. Yeah, like if it's over a decade ago, it's like, whatever.
Yeah, that shit was like at least a decade ago or some shit.
By the way, this podcast is not sponsored by Pass Through the Ribbon, but hey, if you want to sponsor me, go for it. Same thing goes for Monster. Please, I drink you all the time. Sponsor me.
He deserves
I
a
drink
sponsorship.
your Monster
He
juice.
really does. If anybody does, this guy does.
I have a problem. Help. Can you make a Monster that will not cause heart problems here in the next few years? Probably already have heart problems. I don't know. I'm fat and I drink a lot of Monster and I smoke cigarettes and I drink beer. I hate when you do that because I don't know if you're being weird or not. Like, I don't know if you're like, why are you talking like that? Stop it.
Oh, I was spacing out, man.
He is smoking.
Yeah. Well,
Actually, I don't know if I can actually legally. Well, I mean, legally I can, but they'll probably block my video for smoking weed. So that's not weed. That's tobacco.
Seth Rogen did it.
Well, okay, I guess that's true. Well, because like, hey, I watched a.
I just think if you're in Colorado, I don't know.
It's legal here.
Well, they don't know what state you're from, but it's like,
I have a medical
know.
card. I can legally smoke if I want to.
I
For
just
any
it's
reason.
so it's so weird. It's like.
It like makes a. There it goes, buzzing. I don't know where the snack is. Do you think he got out? Do you think he's like outside the house, or do you think he's still in the house? The killer's still in the house.
I mean, I think he's probably still in the house.
I don't get it. We had a heat pad, we had food, a really lovely tank for him to be in.
Yeah, it's like why
seriously,
wouldn't he
if
want to be
somebody
in there?
just picked me up one day randomly and had a nice little box for me to live in, and they fed me and gave me everything I needed and wanted, shit, man, I'd be happy as fucking cats in
The
heat.
bee's knees.
I'd be as happy as cats in heat, man.
Who wants kitty?
Gimme cat dick now.
That's like exactly to the T.
The cats in heat are annoying as hell. Because, like, they do this weird fucking thing. It's usually in trailer parks that you find this, but I'm not bashing trailer parks. There's just a lot of people. Cats are lovely. People love cats, and I think cats just kind of belong in trailer parks. And okay, I'm gonna cut it there because I don't want to offend anybody. But you're walking down the street, and then all of a sudden you just hear, like, this cat is begging for sex. That's a cat in heat. You can hear him from like a mile away. Cause here's the thing, they're putting out a call to all the male cats. They're like, come fuck me now. Right?
Yeah.
Is it Gummy kicking in?
I don't know, maybe. It's so hard to tell for me. Because, like, they usually don't really have an effect on me.
Yeah.
But there's been times where, like, I ate when I also ate them, and then, like...
And then it's like it speeds up the digestion or whatever.
Well, I don't... it has to, like, attach to fat molecules, you know?
True.
But, which it can, you know, it can attach to that, and it can attach to lipids in your stomach and do that.
I've heard that marijuana is a really good dietary supplement. Because it actually... What gives you the munchies is your metabolism going into hyperdrive every time you get high.
Yeah, well, it messes with your hypothalamus, which controls a lot of, like,
Hypothalamus.
functions that are, like, you know, like breathe. It controls your lungs, you know, and, like, it keeps homeostasis, like your core body temperature.
Yeah.
98.6, baby. And then, you know, pH balances in your blood and shit like that. It makes sure chemicals work right and whatever. I don't know. Homeostasis has a lot to do with just making sure you stay alive properly.
Homeostasis. It's like,
Homostasis.
God, stay still. There's a fly that flew by the lens. A veterinary camera. Punch it.
But yeah, like
Sorry.
there's mechanisms in that I'm pretty sure anyway that are involved with, like, sleeping and eating and all kinds of, like, basic core functions, you know, type of shit.
Yeah, dog. Core functions and shit. Start vaping again. Look, this is the thing that happens with this. That's not, like, bad. That's just, like, the sugar is being purged. Because there's sugar in vape juice, you know?
Yeah.
To help with flavor.
Yeah. Well, it's like the
Well, it's like
PG and the
oxidizing.
VG. Yeah, the PG and the VG. It's vegetable glycerin
And propylene glycol.
yeah, which is sugar.
Yeah. Vegetable glycerin is like oil, and propylene glycol is just sugar. Edible, burnable sugar.
So it's like it's
And
weird.
liquid form, it's like fructose syrup.
Yeah.
High fructose corn syrup.
Right, yeah, so if you think about it, it's weird. It's like a fat sugar.
It's not nearly as like viscous or whatever though. It's like it's a lot liquidier.
It's pretty runny.
It's a lot more runny, whereas, you know, high fructose corn syrup is like, it's like syrup. It's like honey.
It creeps up on you. But yeah, it's like nicotine in like a a fat sugar suspension, you know? It's like just concentrated into this fat sugar liquid that
Sorry, Hans.
burns off and then delivers the nicotine to you.
I'm thinking I'm getting a contact high just sitting here chilling with you while you're smoking. I did a live stream where I took a weed pill. I played GTA 5 for like 3 hours.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I actually have the clips.
5 hours.
I edited them and they're really nice, but it's just like there's some really funny shit. There's like a part where I'm like in a limo and it's raining. I'm like, I gotta get to this party, and this funny song plays. I don't know why. I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny. Like cops were like, "Oh, in the game I was drunk though." I was like trying to simulate being high in game. I guess you could smoke weed in game, but like anyway, I was like drunk in game. It was like a cheat I put in, so I was just perpetually drunk. So I had all these cops just chasing me, and eventually I just like drove the limo off a cliff and into the ocean and died.
Oh, no!
I was like, "You'll never take me alive, coppers!" Ah! I just drove off a cliff. It was great.
What game system was it? Where there was like a Frogger remaster. It was like
PlayStation, probably.
might have been.
I remember we had a PlayStation Frogger game. It was like a remastered Frogger.
You could go like you were in like maps and shit. And you were like you could go around.
Yeah.
You could take turns, go around corners, and like and you
I
could
think
hop
that
over
was on
things, and you could eat these little
PlayStation.
fireflies you would find, and
Maybe you're thinking of Spyro?
it's not Spyro.
Because there's fireflies in that one.
Well, I know that, but like there was like
Eat 'em.
there was like different bugs you could eat, but some of them would glow, and I guess they could be fireflies or just glowing bugs. But there was different bugs you ate because you were a frog, you know. They were power ups and shit, and then like you had to rescue other frogs and shit, right? Like were trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Remember that game Glover where you were a glove?
Yeah. See, there's frogs and flies, but that's not the game. It wasn't on the Intellivision. It was on the Atari 2600. Maybe it was frogs and flies.
Frogs and flies, baby.
That's what it was. It was just called Frogs and Flies.
How original. Hey guys, I have this game about these frogs eating these flies. What should we call it? How about Frogs and Flies?
Yeah, well, you're just a little frog, and you got to eat the most flies. And there's like another frog.
It's like Hungry Hungry Hippo, except not hippos.
Like here,
And not plastic.
Yeah. This is what the game looks like. This is what Atari 2600 looked like.
Holy shit.
Did you play that before?
No, but there was a game with graphics similar to this that Dad and I played when I was really little before any of the rest of y'all was born. Maybe Shannon might have been a baby at the time, or maybe it was right before you were born and me and Shannon were a little older. Because I had to have been able to grasp this, you know, kind of. But essentially, I thought it was on computer, and maybe it was an Atari. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they had the Commodore 64. I bet you it was on the Commodore.
Maybe it was, because Dad was always like computer savvy-ish. You know,
not anymore, but
well, it's like hard to keep up with all this shit now, man. Like, fuck.
man, I want more shit. I want new shit. Like I'm all about it all the time. I built my computer. You know, I built Dad's computer too.
Yeah.
So if that tells you anything about where he's at now, he doesn't know shit. He's like, "What's 4K exactly?" I'm like, that's like
It's 4,000.
that's the thing though. It's not quite 4,000. It's like 3,000.
Oh, it never is. It's like when you get a hard drive, it's 2 terabytes. You're like, you get it and you look on it, it's like 1.88 terabytes, and you're like, this isn't 2 terabytes. It's 1.88. You know,
Yeah.
why are they advertising it as?
Well,
2?
okay, because here's the thing: on Windows computers, it doesn't read. It reads it in gigabits, which is not gigabits. It's stupid. It says gigabits, but it's actually gigabits, and it's I don't know why. Don't ask me. Ask Microsoft. It's stupid, man. Everything is measured incorrectly. It's kind of like how there's the UK
it's like Apple trying to do their own thing.
Yeah, it's exactly
Fucking
like that.
stupid.
I mean, bro, here's the.
I get being proprietary. Trust me, I get it. I get the concept.
Maybe there wasn't a version of that game on Commodore 64, but
in a society that it is this, like with social media and like
this is it
connectivity
right here.
and all this shit and everybody and mass production
Frog
of products, there is no reason why any company should be striving to make a product that is different from others on the market in that regard, where it's like, you know, all Apple users have to have a different fucking cable. You don't know how many people I have told, I don't have a cable for you, bro, sorry, because they're like, you have an extra Apple cable. I'm like, no, we're Android users here, bro. Micro USB works with everything.
There's actually one
Dad does, okay? Dad does. But back in West Virginia, where I was, where everybody else was that I knew at the time, like, I would have people come over and they'd be like, you have an Apple cable? And I'd be like, no. You know? I'm not like an uppity douche with an iPhone.
I was going to say, Dad's an uppity douche then, I guess. I keep telling him to go to Android. He's like, every Android phone I get sucks. And it's like, because you get shitty Android phones. Get a Google Pixel and your life will be like fucking peaches and pies.
Yeah, right. If you're gonna get an Android phone and you have money for it, and you're getting tired of Apple's bullshit, then get a Google Pixel or a Google product.
You know what he did? He's like, man, my iPhone's fucking up, and I don't know what to do about it. It's just slow and it's like not working right. The touchscreen doesn't work half the time. I was like, well, let's go to Micro Center and look at phones. And you know what he got? He had an iPhone 6S Plus or whatever. Okay. He goes to Micro Center and he's like, I feel like it's just too big maybe. And so he got an iPhone 6S, just a regular one. And it's the same phone. It's like the same phone but smaller. And I guess you get better battery life because it is smaller and it has like less of a display to project
power, yeah.
But here's the thing. All those iPhone 6 phones, they have this problem where they bend. They bend in certain points. If you just give it some time, they'll eventually bend. And Apple's actually come out and stated, we're aware of this problem, and we're not going to do anything about it. Just get the new iPhone.
Right? I mean, so as fast as phones come out, well...
And that's the thing, too. Apple's like, oh, well... maybe you should just get the new iPhone then. Like, if you have a problem with the previous one, like, just get the new one. The new one's... we fixed all the problems in the new one. So just get the new one. Like, I'm not paying $1,000 for another piece of shit,
because you fucked up the first time and the time before. Yeah, see, that's another thing, too. It's like they come out with models constantly to try to find ways to hook you into being, you know, you're eligible for an upgrade. Oh, now you're hooked on a contract or some shit. But that's outside of Apple. That's like phone companies. But
he had the original iPhone, I think, and then he had the iPhone. No, he had the iPhone. He got the iPhone 3GS, and then he got the iPhone 4, and then he got the iPhone 6, 6S Plus, and then he got the 6S, and it was a refurbished one.
I'm pretty sure there was like a news statement that came out from Apple stating that they were admitting that they had purposely made phones where they would purposely fail over time, so
you would buy their new phone.
Have to buy the new ones because they were making them. They
preset them to do that. It's the thing though, is it's like it's so weird how they figure out a way to manipulate hardware in a way to like make it so it fails in a specific amount of time. Some people are able to keep their phones for a really long time because they baby them.
They're built variably, though, probably.
Right, that's the thing, is it's variable, but 90% of the phones fail at the exact same time. It's like, oh, look at the new one.
They probably make
it's like 2 years.
No, here's probably what it is. They probably have
3.
2 separate production lines, and one of them is 90% of them, which is the shitty ones.
Well, there's one that's in Austin, Texas, and then there's one that's in Mexico.
Yeah,
actually, there's another manufacturing plant that's in China. You could buy all the parts for way cheap in China for an iPhone and assemble and build your own iPhone. There's a guy who did a video on it. He actually, in one of the newer models that doesn't have a headphone jack, the module space is there for a headphone jack. And like, if you have a headphone jack installed on an iPhone, like that version of the iPhone, the software still recognizes there's a headphone jack. So I think it was like the iPhone 7 or the iPhone 8 or whatever. And he modified it and put the headphone jack back in. And it worked. I was like, crazy.
Wow.
But no, Apple has these little things. They're called. I'm not even gonna go into the details, but they have a chip that's on every board of every fucking Apple product. Their laptops, their computer. Well, maybe not the desktops, but definitely their mobile stuff, like their laptops and their phones and their tablets and stuff.
Yeah.
And after about a year or two, they fail. It makes the whole system shut down. Essentially, it fucks up the system. But if you remove this one specific chip, it completely negates all those problems, because it's like all of the systems are connected to this one chip. But if you remove it, it's like they're disconnected and they still work. But if that chip is installed and it goes bad, everything goes bad. I can't remember what it's called though. So don't quote me on that. I might be wrong about a chip, but yeah. It's proof. There's this guy, I think his name's like Louis Rossman or something like that, on YouTube, and he runs a business where he repairs Apple products. And actually recently, they just back in 2016 they passed a law where you could jailbreak iPhones and Android phones and stuff like that. It's totally legal. Any console or mobile device can be jailbroken legally. Yeah.
Jail broker.
Which, I mean, that term is kind of... I don't like that term.
Right? It just sounds too close to, like, the word jailbait.
No, it's like you're using the system for illegal purposes, you know, like, oh, well, now I can get free apps. It's like, yeah, you can get free apps, but you should pay for them. Like, my buddy... I'm not gonna say who, but a friend of mine, he gets like hacked and cracked copies of games all the time. I'm like, why don't you just buy it? You know, especially if it's not that expensive, just buy the game. I mean, you get consistent updates, so you know you don't have to like worry about not being on the right update. You're just always on it, and you can always play online and do all that other stuff.
There's certain games that updates are good for, but then there's other games like I just don't get the
like older games that aren't being updated anymore. Like say StarCraft. Well, recently StarCraft got updates because they got the the original StarCraft.
The remastered edition.
They got the remastered edition with the HD textures and graphics or whatever. But the majority of games like Doom, original Doom, steal that. I think it should just be free, but they still sell it on Steam. I think it's like $5.
One thing that gets me, man, okay, StarCraft 2 has been out for a while now.
Yeah, well now...
Of course StarCraft has been out for a while, but StarCraft 2 has been out for a while now. And they have updates consistently still, but some of the updates list... In the updates, you know, you can see where it's listed like what they did, the changes they made, all this and that, the bugs that were fixed. But what gets me is that sometimes they still have changes to like stats for units or buildings or something.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, at this point...
It's for competition reasons. They have to alter things in the game
to make it more fair for like those online players.
Yeah, to make it
that
fair.
Are like that are the serious gamers.
They do the same.
A bunch of money.
They do the same shit with Overwatch. They nerf characters sometimes. There's some characters that are like super OP. Even after they nerf them, they're still like kind of overpowered. But it's not like they're beating every match consistently without fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No matter what anybody does.
Like I remember when I played online against people who were Zerg, I would always lose. I was always playing as the Terran.
Yeah.
But excuse me. But like recently, like the last time we played, we did a few online matches with other people, and we had played against Zerg or whatever, people who were Zerg. And I actually, you know, I probably still failed, but I didn't fail as bad as I did before. So
yeah.
I really want to talk about No Man's Sky. What were you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say that I got to a point where, like, for a while, I was like, I would like lose a lot of games and maybe win one every once in a while. But I started getting to the point where like it would be like half and half. You know, like I'd win a game, I'd lose a game, win a couple, lose a couple, whatever. But it's cool because like I started exploring and researching and looking at and thinking about new strategies to use, you know, like outside the
actually
box,
started-
unconventional methods of warfare and
I actually
tactics
started-
to use, because there's lots of people that will do the same shit, and sometimes there was like shit that I could have done too, but I would never do, and I'm like, maybe I should start thinking about doing things a little differently, you know?
Right, because if you consistently fail, it's like obviously you're doing something wrong. I know that I'm really poor about managing my resources and building things when I need to. You know, like
Yeah. Another thing you need to learn is
the one thing I did learn is the fucking hotkeys.
Oh yeah.
I used to never use hotkeys, but when you and I started playing like the co-op missions and stuff, and even playing online with people, I started using the hotkeys in StarCraft.
Oh yeah, I've memorized them all now. But like, I remember when I was younger playing like the first StarCraft, I would occasionally use a few hotkeys because like a few of them made it more convenient. But like it was too much to think about using all those hotkeys and memorizing them. But
Yeah,
it's like now, I don't know. It seems a lot easier now. Maybe all the experience of gameplay over the years, but like it just seems like it just makes so much sense to have like a button that corresponds to something in the game on the keyboard
Yeah.
for everything in the game too.
Yeah.
And like knowing what
there
they
should
are.
be, yeah.
And there really isn't that many to memorize. After you really go through the whole list, there isn't that much. You know?
You know what's really funny? The original StarCraft was also released. I don't think I ever told you about this, but the original StarCraft was also released on the Nintendo 64, and it was called StarCraft 64, right?
Oh, I played it.
Yeah, it has multiplayer split screen.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, and it's like laggy as hell
I don't remember it being laggy, but I used to play with Jeff Farnsworth, and
on the N64.
yeah, dude. And I, honestly,
We ought to do
before they made Supreme Commander, which is probably one of the best.
I loved Supreme Commander, and what was the other one? Red Alert. Red Alert.
Yeah, but you could
That game's
play
cool.
Supreme Commander on Xbox with an Xbox controller, and it was an RTS that was using a controller, which is
fucking
just
Halo Wars is also an RTS. It's a Halo based RTS, and it's actually not bad.
I've heard about it.
And you can
but
use Xbox controllers, but they recently released it on PC.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
But-
It's really hardwired to the Xbox controller though, so it makes keyboard controls like kind of shitty. So it's like
yeah.
how
Well,
do I
that
do
was part
anything?
of the problem I think they had with porting any game that was made on PC originally, which was usually
RTS.
Well, RTSs were made on PC because it was easier to use that way. Porting it to a game console and having the buttons correspond to all the many functions that were going on, but they somehow were able
select
to like
B and A to do this, and then press up.
yeah, they had like a pretty good. They did really good with making the StarCraft 64 edition, and then they also did pretty good with doing Supreme Command on the Xbox. And I was like, that's pretty amazing. And I'm not like StarCraft is like it's up there in like in the annals of history for video gaming, you know?
Yeah,
Like-
I mean it's been around since competitive gaming's been
Yeah,
around.
and it's
like,
not-
since like the dawn of gaming, really. Like
Yeah. 90s. It came out.
1996.
It came out. The original one came out in 91.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
StarCraft?
I'm pretty sure it came out in 91, maybe 92.
You might be right. StarCraft.
But by 2000 or 1999, I think they had started talking about plans for the second one. You know,
1998 actually. We were both
98. Okay,
I was
maybe
thinking-
91 is Doom. Maybe 91
'Cause,
or
like-
92 is Doom 2.
Well,
Look that up.
no, yeah, actually Doom 2
Doom 2
and Doom 2 came out the Doom 2 came out right after.
I'm talking about Dune. D-U-N-E.
Oh, Dune.
It's a RTS.
That was
it's
on
hailed,
DOS computers, yeah.
It's hailed as one of the grandfathers of RTSs. Even a precursor to like Command and Conquer, who was made by the same
1992.
92. Yeah.
The day after, or the year after I was born.
But yeah,
And then
man, and Dune 2, Dune 2, Dune 2, like sand dune. Check it out.
I'm going to do a video, actually. I'm going to do a video on Dune at some point. I'll probably link it at the end of this video. Dune 2 actually came out in the same year. Because they're very similar. Dune 1 and Dune 2 are very similar.
Dune. You said Dune 1. Right?
Dune 1 and Dune 2.
Dune 1 and Dune 2 are not similar, but they are.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, no, Dune 1 or Dune.
The original Dune.
The original Dune is actually an RPG.
Oh, what?
It's an RPG. You,
I didn't know that.
You
Maybe
are,
the only one I've ever played is Dune 2 then.
Well, you're Paul, and you have to go around to these sieges and talk to these different Fremen and get them to join your cause to fight against the Harkonnen and ultimately, defeat the Emperor.
Which, by the way, the Ordos, they're not actual.
Yeah, they were made up for the game.
So there was 3 different options.
Yeah.
Three different
to
colors.
balance the game.
Yeah. So
But-
everybody could have options,
Which is funny. There's a lot of, if you read any of the books, there's lots of other houses they could have chosen from, but they decided to make one up, which
is really weird because they're in all of the Ordos are in all the games, but they're not in any of the books or the actual story. So it's
yeah.
I get because at that point it's almost canon because they're in every single game.
Yeah, and they made up. Well, there's an alternate universe timeline. There's, a Duke Atreides and
Which
Baron,
I guess
and
could make sense.
There's different.
The game timeline could be different from the actual storyline. Frank Herbert's Dune, which if you haven't read Frank Herbert's Dune, you totally should. It's I haven't even read it, all of them anyway. I've read bits and pieces here and there, just so I could understand the story more. But there's so much. The story is so huge. I have all the books on my computer, but you should read the books. The books, they're before their time. When did those books come out originally? They were written 100 years ago or 50 years ago or something like that.
They were written in the 60s and 70s, I think, by the original Frank Herbert and his son.
And then his son released a couple, finished them and released them, didn't he?
Yeah, in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Who's also named Frank Herbert.
And I think he's still working on some, maybe, but because I'm still waiting for a couple to come out. He's working on other legendary storylines from the past written notes of his father or whatever, but the original movie that they made came out the year I was born in
that
'86.
movie had Sting in it, right?
Yeah,
Phil Collins. Maybe it was Phil Collins.
No, it was Sting.
Was it Sting?
Sting played Feyd-Rautha Harkonnen, and
he gets killed.
He gets
stabbed
killed
in the end. That movie, I haven't watched that movie in 20 years, but it's
there is a special director's cut edition that's 6 hours long.
Is there really?
Yeah. I've never seen the whole one. I've never seen it. Yeah, we need to check it out sometime. I've only ever seen the original theatrical release.
That's the only one I've ever seen too, and it's crazy though because it's
I have the DVD for it over there somewhere.
I know, yeah, I saw that recently and was I want to watch that because it's not. I'll tell you, it probably didn't hold the original film the way it is not that great. I mean, it's good because it's Dune, but it's I don't know. If you watched what was the Dune special that they did on Sci-Fi years ago.
Oh,
and it's 3 films, but it's all together. It's a 6-hour long film, but they just cut it up in the.
I forget the director's name. But it was so and so's Dune, and it was it was a 6-hour edition, which was a 3-part mini series. Each was a 2-hour cut, and realistically, you actually got the full 2 hours, maybe a little more, if you got the director's special edition cut on DVD.
I think we have that.
Yeah, it's right over there in that box too. And it is so good. It's so fucking good.
It's so good and it's so underrated because Sci-Fi. I don't even know if Sci-Fi is a channel anymore.
Yeah, it's.
I think
it's Siffy.
Well, I think it's SYFY.
Yeah.
Do you
think they got absorbed by somebody?
I think they got
swallowed up and
the channel
pooped
does
out?
Not exist as it was anymore.
It's
not on a network anywhere anymore. It's I think they might have a YouTube channel maybe.
That'd be kind of cool if they did.
It's kind of like G4.
I mean, nostalgically speaking, though, because they really became something they weren't anymore.
They were garbage. They became garbage.
They were
they had
sci-fi.
I loved it because they
ghost hunting wrestlers.
Well, for a while they would play shows like Star Trek, The Next Generation and shit. I like Star Trek. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm not a Trekkie, and I'm not like, I don't choose sides. I love Star Wars equally as much as I like Star Trek. You know what I mean? I mean, I haven't gone out of my way to go see all the Star Trek films in theaters, but I didn't do the same for the Star Wars films. Star Trek films, Star Wars films, yeah. I did go out of my way to see the Han Solo film, though. We actually, I think our second podcast was all about that, so yeah. But yeah, dude, sci-fi used to be cool. I wish, and so did G4 was cool when it first, like G4 was. I think they
Man, I wasn't done talking about Dune, and you're totally going off on a tangent with random bullshit.
Anyway, you were saying, because they have an uncut director's cut of the original Dune film?
Yeah, and I've never seen it. I just know that it exists. I read about it and like how like epic it is for what it is, you know? But one thing that I never knew as a kid growing up when I originally saw the movie, afterwards I read the books later, but like there's this thing in that movie that was like a creative direction that the director and producer took, you know, writers and whatnot. And it's like in Harry Potter when they put the shrunken heads in that one that's not in the books, and then the authors later is like, oh, I wish I'd have thought of that. I'm like, no, you didn't. That's stupid.
I didn't like that at all. I thought that was really
the dumbest fucking thing. Yeah, it was like,
it's cool for little kids. If you watch, like, here's the thing. When I watched that film when I was a kid, I was like, ooh, crazy little heads in a thing.
There's this whole huge misconception of what's good for little kids and what's bad for little kids, man. And the one thing that people forget is that life is messy, life happens, and people grow up. And if you're a little kid watching this show from the age that Harry Potter was till you actually grow up in the same age time frame and all that bullshit that he was, you're just watching a movie. Bottom line, at the end, you know what?
Right. ...
You're watching a movie. But
if it's entertaining, it's entertaining.
Either way,
I didn't like the heads.
Little kids go through shit too.
Yeah.
And you can't protect everybody all the time. You just can't.
Right.
If we could, that snake would not have escaped.
Here's the thing. I don't think we should protect kids as much as we do.
I think we should, just not the like. There's getting your priorities straightened out. You know what I mean?
Don't let your kids walk out in the street.
Yeah. You know? Like, people think about the things that are bad and good, and they think about what needs to be done or whatever, and then they get overzealous with one thing, or they get in a routine and forget about other things.
Yeah.
And forget about how bad other things can be. And funny thing is, too, is think about statistics. Things happen, things don't. Things can happen at random times. And people, it's like things that are bad or good for you are in trends. Because think about how many times they've been like, eggs are good for you, eggs are bad for you, eggs are good for you, eggs are bad for you. The whites are good, the yellow's good. Like,
who cares? They're eggs and people like to eat them.
In the end, you're going to die. Oh. Really?
I feel like you should consume whatever you enjoy, because like life's short, man.
Yeah, man. You want to eat fudge all day, every day?
Well, I don't recommend that.
Your heart will clog up so fast. All that sugar,
I don't recommend eating like
butter.
fast food or whatever all the time, but like do stuff that you enjoy, because you know even if it's bad for you, it's like everything's bad for you.
Yeah,
take everything in moderation.
If you drink too much water, you'll die.
Your blood cells will start exploding, and you'll just You'll turn in that guy in X-Men. Remember that guy in X-Men?
That's
the original X-Men film?
Hey man, that's actually a really good analogy. That's perfect.
He just liquefied, man. And then he became Aquaman. Ocean Man. He became Ocean Man. Yeah,
right, now you can talk about G4 if you want to.
Actually, there was something else I wanted to talk about. I forget what it was though. G4 was a great channel though. Well, was.
Is it? I was gonna say, is it done?
It's been off the air since like 2011.
Oh wow!
Or actually sooner than that. I think it was.
Rest in peace.
2008 maybe. When did G4 go off the air? Let's see. Okay, Google. When did G4 go off the air?
According to Polygon, G4 is going off the air for good. Gaming-centric cable network G4 is being pulled for good, following a decision from NBC Universal, IGN reports. Cable providers still carrying the channel were
So
sent a
G4 is a whole
statement from
channel,
NBC
right?
Universal announcing the network will come to an end on November 30th.
Of 1727.
Because that's where fucking Olivia Munn got her start, really.
Oh, I know, right? Like, she was nobody.
She was nobody. Then she became a host on Attack of the Show, and then there was that video where they had a hot dog hanging from a string dipped in cheese or whatever. She's like trying to eat it all one bite. And like that blew up. That went viral.
What?
Yeah.
What the?
I'll have to show you that. But they also had shows
ridiculous.
like, they also hosted Lost on that channel as well as X-Play, but they overplayed Ninja Warriors. That show, I will never watch that show again. My dad's like, Dad's like, I love Ninja Warriors. It's cool because now they have the Great American Ninja Warrior. So it's like Americanized or whatever. But even the original, that's okay.
They should have a whole 24/7 just separate channel for that.
That's what G4 became. It was like 24/7 Ninja Warrior. Then
really?
They had like one episode of Code Monkeys, possibly a rerun of X-Play, possibly
so
a rerun of
it's
Lost.
like basically some one motherfucker lazy as hell was just like.
No, it's just, and that's the worst part too. Every day it was like the same 12 episodes, and they just played over and over and over and over forever. And then they only did Attack of the Show, their greatest show. They only did that like once a week, at the end of the week, on like Friday or Saturday. And sometimes they would do a rerun. Like the channel got so bad. That used to be the only fucking channel I watched on television, because it was like gaming and stuff. But then they cut half their shows, then they just filled it with Ninja Warrior, and nobody liked it. And they shut down the channel in 2002. Or wait, no. That's when they debuted. Attack of the Show. But the channel died. I want to say it was like 2005 or 2006. It was like right before the dawn of the internet and like the explosion of YouTube and videos online. It was just before that, or it was like right on the cusp of that. Like they were getting in on it right when it became big. And
the cusp of the internet, man. What do you mean the cusp?
It's hard to describe that, because there was like a point where the internet was like emails and instant messages and shit like that.
I guess.
But then there was the boom of YouTube and streaming live videos that everybody like you and me create to this day. I
guess, yeah, you're right. Because when you think back, it's like,
because YouTube hasn't been around forever.
All we've ever thought about is what we have right now. Like, it's like,
right, and like
if you think about it so far back, it's like, wow, we had Zanga,
right? And nobody fucking knows it. I mentioned that earlier too.
I saw some people mention it on my timeline the other day. Not my timeline personally, but you know what I mean, like. I was like, oh
Zanga.
My god!
It was like,
somebody was like, my MySpace, and somebody else was like, my Zanga, and then someone was like, hard, oh my god! You know, like,
yeah, like, because before MySpace and Facebook, there was another social media profile system that they had called Zanga.
I have one. It was literally an online diary. It wasn't
really,
like
it was like you write everything about your life. It's like, oh, here's what I did today. Or, it's not like memes and shit. Memes didn't exist then, believe it or not. Isn't that crazy to think?
Yeah,
like memes, YouTube,
people would spill their life on Facebook back in the day, and I would be like, this is bullshit. It's not your fucking diary.
We don't want to know about
media.
How big your shit was today, or how you got a big turd coming out your butt or something like that. We don't want to know about that shit.
Yeah, but more people were using it for that back then, because memes weren't a thing really, and all the extra shit they got now wasn't stuff that existed, and now it has literally become what I always said it was. I was like, it's not your diary. It's not. People still spill their guts on there, but it's very much not a diary. It's very much a TV show.
It's like
watch everyone's lives.
What's that fucking
show? They even have the your story now. I don't participate in it at all. But
they like synthesize these videos together for. Like, oh, you've been friends with this guy for 10 years. Whoa!
Yeah, they make collages for you, and they collect all this shit over the years that you've forgotten about, and it's like,
it's pretty much just like all your posts that you ever made, and they just go through. It's like, oh, this one looks relevant. Let's put it in this video and put like a little hashtag, boner soup, I don't know. list.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They had Zanga. And Zanga was interesting because it was like, it wasn't just a diary. Like, it was a web page that you designed.
Not really, because the extent of it was color and font, I think.
Well, you could do your own HTML editing, though. Because I remember I had, like...
I know you could do that with...
I know...
You could do that with MySpace. Everybody was...
Yeah, but you could also do that with Zanga. Because on Zanga, I remember I had, like, a little Metroid cursor... And I had little Metroids that floated around with it every time you go to my Zanga
I'm pretty
page.
sure Zanga was not that intricate. Maybe you should Google...
Maybe it was MySpace.
You should Google it.
I wonder if Zanga... Hold on a second. I wonder if Zanga is even a thing.
Find out... Yeah, look at the Wikipedia page for Zanga. Just look at the Wikipedia page for Zanga and see what it says. Because I'm telling you, man, HTML was huge with MySpace. And that's the thing, like... Part of what, that post I was just talking about, where people were like, oh my god, nostalgia.
Zanga
nostalgia,
2.0
nostalgia.
is here. Is this still Zanga? Log in. It's like I guess it's like a blog. That's the thing. That's what a blog is. It's like an online diary.
Well, we've been learning about themes. An update on it. It still exists?
It's
Zanga
2. Zanga 2 now.
Still exists. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, here, hold on.
Welcome to Zanga 2.0. Holy shit. I gotta find that post now and tell those motherfuckers, be like, yo, Zanga still exists. Shitballs, dude. That is that's amaze balls. That is blowing my mind.
So yeah, here it is. It's Zanga 2.0. It doesn't look the same. I mean, maybe it does. I don't know. I remember it being a lot more edgier. It's like kind of bland. It looks like Facebook with the white and blue, and then it's like, oh, all the other colors that we forgot. That's crazy.
Zanga 2.0 is here.
It's here!
Shit.
They're coming! You're next! You're next! They're here already!
That's what that giant vibrating in my pocket was. My phone dying.
Oh. I love how phones do that.
Good.
Think about that.
Right? The expenditure of their last...
They're like...
It's their last breath. Yeah.
And they just die. You know?
The rest of my juice!
Here I go. Peace, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye. Send me off. Farewell, y'all.
Fucking phones are terrible. This, like, our phone.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so my brother has a bad habit of breaking all of my USB cables. So we've been having problems with even charging our phone.
I feel like we need a USB cable dispenser and like...
We need one made out of titanium that you could put in your pocket with a charge pack that's also made out of titanium. And that way, like, if you get hit by a car, you break their car.
Yeah,
it saves
shit
you.
Is still
it could be like a piece of like bulletproof armor that
you're
you
still
just
gonna be able
wear,
to call all your loved
but it
ones
has functionality
right before you die.
Yeah.
Be like, I wanted to call you before I died, but my phone
It's
sucks.
a titanium shelled nuclear power cell.
Of course. Hey, that should be a new selling point for like a new company that makes like badass fucking USB cables that never fail. Should be like,
that's the problem. There's not a company that makes them that don't.
I'm
fit.
saying no. A company needs to do it. Like no. Listen, a company needs to do it, and then their ads need to be like, motherfucker on their deathbed. No, not deathbed. On the road after having a car accident or some shit. And being like, I wanted to call my loved ones, but my USB cable was broken.
So my phone died when I died.
It failed me again, yeah.
It died and I died. We both went, peace.
Yeah.
And then it's got like that off sounds like.
Don't you want to have a reliable USB cable? Don't be this guy.
Let it die after you do.
Yeah. Your phone will still be alive after you die.
Dude, think about it. You can make, we should make really fancy ass. We should start this as a company. One of our things, a selling point here. We should make really fancy, durable, tough, ageless USB cables. And they could be, almost like a fashion statement, right? They could become, family heirlooms. You give them to your kids, Of course, they'll probably be using USB-C. USB, micro USB won't be a thing.
I'm
But we
like-
could specialize in everything. We future-proof that shit,
I'm
you know?
just like, a USB cable is an heirloom. That's just a ridiculous
just
ass
saying.
concept, bro.
Hey, man, if you're going to wear something, you make it useful, right?
Wear something?
Yeah, like, say, make a bracelet that's a USB cable. And it's got, like, diamonds and shit on it. That sounds cool to me. I'm a nerd, though, so... I don't know. You guys leave comments and you tell me what you think. I think it's a cool idea. But I'm weird, so... At least I don't solve a Zanga. Actually, I probably do. I don't remember how to use it, though, so...
He hasn't magically popped back up.
Wait a minute. Oh, okay, it was a piece of wood. I thought he was in there. I thought he was in there. It was weird. It scared the shit out of me. Well, I guess I'll post a video and update everybody if we find Gooby, the snack. Snacky. We just been calling him all kinds of things, like Little Snack, Little Dude, Gooby. We've kind of grown attached to him in like the few days that we've had him.
We should check inside his shoes.
I got a pair over there.
I'm getting tired.
I gotta pee really bad, and I'd like to smoke a cigarette instead of vaping, because I love cancer.
I love cancer.
Give me a
So
cancer.
I got a pet cancer.
It lives in my lungs. I've had the emphysema since I was 5 years old.
The pet cancers.
All right, well, hey, it's time to wrap this up. I suppose we've had our brewskis, we've had our chitty chats, and we've lost our snake. But almost all good things must come to an end. So we'll see you guys probably in another month or so. Or maybe next week, who knows? It just depends because, you know, he works and I'm lazy. You put those things together and nothing gets done. If I had the drive that he if I had the drive that he had, I'd probably be a millionaire or something. I don't know. Or like a really major YouTuber. Do I just stab myself with these tweezers? They're sharp. They're sharp on the end. I'm bleeding. I got a boo-boo. Anyway, so thank you guys all for watching the Two Brothers podcast. This is episode 3. All right, let's hope for like 100 billion more episodes. 300.
90 more years.
8 more seasons, Morty. Anyway, thank you guys all for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye.
Hodor.